One final dance then in Players' Championship 13 to find out who will become our 11th different winner of the season. And pretty fittingly, that both Nathan Aspinall and Damon Heta are competing in their 13th Players' Championship finals.
3 more.
Here in Rosmarland this evening. Damon Heta looking for an 8th title and first of 2025. Whereas the Nathan Aspinall, is looking for victory number 6 and his first since Players' Championship 22 back in 2022. The Asp done tremendously well. Really felt like he's turned a gigantic corner really over recent weeks. 2 finals on the Euro Tour, winning one of them. He's inside the top 4 in the Premier League and now has a chance to show that he can also still very much do it on the floor. One thing to note coming into this final, Nathan Aspinall not been best pleased with the boards that he's found himself on, particularly when he's been on the stream.
So Damon to throw first.
You wonder how much that could impact or maybe hinder him coming into this final. As for Damon Heta, well, his finishing was absolutely sensational in the semi-final.
180.
And his scoring, not too shabby at the start of this final, Paul Nicholson.
Yeah, we'll have a little bit more of that, if you please.
58.
You mentioned that it is their 13th final. Well, Damon's won 7 of them.
140.
Nathan's won 5, so the Australian does have a slightly better conversion rate. And they have a very similar amount of titles,
43.
but it's actually Damon who has more PDC titles than Nathan by 1. He's got 10, Nathan's got 9. But Nathan's got something
60
that Damon doesn't have, which is that high-ranked major title like a match player. He's actually got 2 of them, of course.
59.
Damon's got a World Cup. Nathan hasn't, but Nathan would love to be in a World Cup at some point in his career.
$65.
Trying to get a 171 to leave 170.
133.
Still not bad. He'll expect to lose this first leg already. That's exactly what happens if he continues to finish the way he has over the last 2 or 3 games, and his scoring is at a level that is very competitive. You would expect him to be a lot of trouble for Nathan.
Yeah, his scoring got
46.
better and better in that match against Andrew Gilding in the semi-final, but his finishing was up at 70% in that one. Any time Andrew Gilding missed, and he missed a lot, Damon Heta, usually with the first dart, punished. If he can maintain, as you said, that scoring that he certainly ended that game with.
Starting to churn, isn't he?
180.
He looks in very sharp nick, and he has got a record of playing exceptionally well in finals.
171.
Here we go. This is what we wanted.
$59.
That's what we didn't get from Clayton in the previous game, unfortunately, because he did make some tactical errors against Nathan. Nathan was fully the better player in that contest, though he dug so deep. Like he always
94.
does.
Yeah, it is, of course, the characteristic that is associated with the Asp, but it's been
100.
great, actually, over recent months to show that he's not just about digging deep and showing that steely determination. He can also tear opponents apart. He can put in those dominant displays.
How do you beat Damon Heta when he's in this kind of form? Keep him away from the doubles. If you can.
140.
Trying to get his third 180 in 3 legs right there. He's still got time to get that third one. But the similarity of this being their 13th final apiece doesn't end there.
133.
The last time they were winning in a final like this, they both won 8-3. Ratajski was the victim
140.
in Nathan's last victory. It was Ryan Searle last year in Players' Championship 18, where Damon last tasted success.
45.
And they're now both part of the European Tour winning club. Damon hasn't won since Gibraltar 2022, though, which was
93.
around about the same time that Nathan was last winning one of these.
$83.
Well, Heta scoring beautifully at the start of this one.
$96.
Double after 12 is, a lot of the time, enough to at least get a shot to win the leg,
$60.
especially when you've got the darts.
Game shot.
Classic. You give him enough shots at that double 16, he will make you pay.
He doesn't really need too many at the moment. Conversion rate is exceptional.
133.
The start of this final. But just picking up on a point that I mentioned at the start of this match, Nathan Aspinall has had quite a few issues with the boards, hasn't he, today? But
136.
what do you think the main issue is? He's complained that the darts are going in a bit soft and they're flopping slightly. What do you think the issue
58.
is?
I think the darts are going in more upright. I think he's not the first person to have this issue. It happened to Dave Chisnell last year. His darts were going in too soft, too
121.
upright. It's about a change of trajectory. And in particular, when it's about collisions, the end of his dart is hitting the flight first. It's not about
58.
bounce outs. It's not necessarily about fallouts. It's about the reaction of the dart when it hits the board and thereafter.
100.
Dirk Van Dijvenbode, same upright angle. And you're not penetrating the board as much as you maybe once were, or something's changed technically. That board will receive what is thrown, and what's going in is pointing to the
58.
sky a little bit more.
Doesn't get a look at double 12,
104.
but gets the next best prize. Sets things up beautifully.
64.
Could he make it back-to-back 13 dart legs?
Game shot.
Of course he can.
You've really got to watch out if Damon's starting to hit tops and double 16. In the most quintessentially Aussie way,
180.
he's hitting sixes and he's hitting fours. The boundary is begging for what Damon is throwing. And if you look at their head-to-head
57.
record, it's really curious. Because every time they've played each other over the last few years, there's a little
98.
bit of a pattern. When somebody's won the last time, the other person wins the next time. So it's gone Damon, Nathan, Damon, Nathan,
115.
Damon, Nathan, Damon. So it, in a pattern sense, is Nathan's turn to win. But at this point in time, it looks less likely because Damon is the better
59.
player in this final so far.
Well, we have seen Damon on the floor average in excess of 116, but what he's doing right now in the final of one of these
45.
events really is something special.
Well, we know he's got a ceiling.
Yeah.
And that 116 was not a fluke because on a stage he's done even better.
57.
Yeah, Nathan looked a little dejected in the background there, didn't he? even if he was
58.
finding the trebles with more regularity, be difficult to live with what Damon Heta's doing right now. Of course, he's capable of doing so.
Game
But
shot.
this is incredibly hard to live with right now, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it just? Nathan's trying to figure out how he can. If we do look at what Nathan's doing right now, he's trying to find joy by starting on the 19s.
135.
Why is this becoming normal?
Yeah, it really is. Madders Rasmus' plan all
140.
along.
So you're blaming Matters. Earlier on, I was blaming Eileen de Graaf.
60.
I think I've seen Eileen de Graaf start a leg on 17s, 18s, just wherever she fancies.
Whatever floats your canoe.
180.
Well, Damon's very buoyant in the 180 department. Look at that, 4-0 up.
136.
He's scoring brilliantly. He's approaching well. He's finishing so well. He could probably finish soup with chopsticks.
60.
And he's got that look of intensity right now. Great
89.
bullseye at the end. But Damon's going to fancy this the way he's playing. Not anymore.
89.
And this, Nathan Aspinall will know really does need to go. And that's because Damon Heta has been deadly on double 16. One dart at double 13.
Game
And he
shot.
pins it. That's excellent from the Asp.
Yeah, it really is. When you're seeing someone not missing,
60.
it puts massive
Yeah.
pressure on the one shot you get.
Yeah, it's massively magnified, isn't it? Because, you know, the likelihood is you're not returning. Any little
57.
slip up is going to be punished.
You also think about the challenges that he's faced, Aspinall that is, over the last few months.
174.
Oh, people said he hasn't won a European tour. He can't get as many finals as he wants. Maybe it's an endurance thing. Yeah, he's fixed that.
133.
Can't win a Premier League night. He's fixed that. And then when he's figured out how to win a European tour, he makes a final in the next event.
180.
Well, Damon Heta's going bananas here. He's ticking every single box
57.
when it comes to his scoring chart here. He's hitting almost everything.
It's absolutely relentless. Well, there's a rarity.
69.
Decides to go straight for double 9 there, despite Aspinall being way back on 254. But why wouldn't you go straight for
140.
everything? The way you're finishing at the moment.
There's no hesitation here. That's
Game
why.
shot.
3 more will give Damon Heta his 11th PDC title. And look at what he's doing. I know Nathan's determined, but 23 points less than the average. That's pretty hard to
99.
bridge.
Yeah, we have seen Damon Heta produce these sort of numbers in finals before in Players' Championship events. Averaged 107 against Ryan Searle.
97.
In excess of 107 against Gary Anderson. And those two didn't really have the answers.
133.
My previous point about endurance, it's that Nathan got used to getting to the 7th game
123.
3-4 years ago. It was becoming the norm. Getting to game 7 of a day like this is less normal than it was. But the fact that his engine has been tested recently in Reset and in Manchester, he's probably
59.
feeling a lot more energy than previous because his darting engine has been tested. And if you look at him, he looks a lot more energetic than he was in the final in Reset against Bunting.
139.
done pretty
400.
well there. He might need that combination shot. Now that he gets a look at it. When he missed that second treble just now, Aspinall,
71.
he's thinking to himself, don't you dare take that 142. Give me a look at whatever I leave.
But I'm sure there would have been a part of him that expected Damon Heta to take it out.
53 left. Tops is a must.
Game shot.
That is superb from Nathan Aspinall. The 3 legs he's won in this match have all been in 15 darts. He's had so little to go at.
121.
But when he has carved out that opportunity, he's taken it. And he's still fighting.
121.
He's getting better.
I can see at academies all over the world
100.
where young kids will play, whether they're on Easter holidays or not, they're going to start going 19s first because people tend to follow
59.
what Nathan does, whether it's footwear, whether it's dart shirt materials,
100.
tungsten used, routes of play. I can see it happening. But Damon Heta sticking to the traditional, and he's got his head down, craving a 6-3 lead.
133.
Well, I mentioned that Aspinall is getting better. Damon Heta, he's just not deviated, is he, from that
60.
107 to 110 range, which sounds ludicrous to say. But the Asp should be and will be on a more
96.
makeable outshot here if Heta can't take out this Shanghai.
But he might.
Game shot.
And he does. Applause there from Aspinall. I think he understands now just how well Damon is playing and especially how well he's finishing. Nathan has never played Damon Heta
133.
without a PDC title in his locker. They met after he had broken his duck in Niedenhausen in 2020 and he'd already won the World Series before
96.
that. So he knows the threat that is posed by the Australian number 1, who has lofty ambitions in 2025 of breaking the
136.
top 4 in the world. The fact that he's in the top 10 without massive runs on massive stages is just remarkable because he does all of his good work
60.
here, European Tour. He's only won 1 of them.
There's so much more to come, isn't there, from Damon Heta? Possibilities are
52.
endless for a player with talent and ability like this.
Sorry, 42.
Yeah.
57.
Damon was never going to leave a finish from his previous position. Nathan was already more than a furlong ahead.
57.
But things could change with another maximum here.
$59.
Well, there's around 15 points in the average in this match. The way Heta's playing,
57.
it's almost like Aspinall should feel like he's out of this game, but he isn't at all. As you'd expect, he's putting up one heck of a fight. And this is actually the first tiny
43.
little wobble from the Heat in this match.
This is something that Nathan has to take advantage of.
56.
He can still do that. He's not going to be able to miss what he's just left.
Well, it's a rare occasion where Nathan Aspinall is going to get a second
57.
visit to the board to take care of a leg. And that's because Damon Heta has really struggled
15, isn't it? That's a 15.
to find big trebles, but Aspinall gone into the wrong segment there. Just double checking that it is a big 15. An error, but he can rectify it here. And
Game
does
shot.
exactly that. Superb from Nathan Aspinall. Just took a little bit longer, didn't he, after that wayward first start. And Damon Heta, will there be
96.
a hangover from that last leg? Because it wasn't a good one from the heat.
$133.
I tell you what Nathan did in Göttingen earlier this year that was not really spoken about.
100.
That was his first ranking title outside of England. And neither of these players
133.
have ever won a ranking tournament inside the Netherlands. Damon's won in Germany multiple times. Of course, his World Cup was in Germany as well, but that's not ranked.
98.
But you do want to win in different places. In fact, the funny